Audio, audio.
Can you hear me now? Fantastic. Again, we're getting ready to welcome the presenter for Club Quality. Doing this again. Nate Stevens. Many of you may know Nate Stevens as one of our competitors in speech contests. Many speech contests, District 13 winners several times in the humorous speech contest, and even going to the big stage for us to represent the district at Toastmasters International Convention. Nate is passionate about helping clubs become greater, better, like the Bionic Man, which many of you probably don't even know who the Bionic Man is, but faster, stronger. Let's welcome Nate Stevens as he teaches us about club quality.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Can everybody hear me okay? I can hear myself. That doesn't sound like... Can you hear me through the microphone? Okay. Great. I am Nate Stevens. Today I'm going to be sharing with you tips and tricks about creating club quality. These are things that are going to impact all of us, but today our presentation is brought to you by the letters Y and U. Aha. Anybody remember Sesame Street? Yes, we do have some Sesame Street fans here, but we're not talking about the letters Y and U. Instead, we are asking ourselves, why are these things important and what you can be doing about them? But we will first start today off with a little quiz. Thinking about our first Toastmasters experience, the very first time you set foot into a Toastmasters meeting. Do you remember that? Yes, you do. Let's think about that. And how would you rate that experience? 10 being wonderful, that was the best thing ever, versus 1, you couldn't wait to leave the room. Think about that for a second. People online, think about that too. If you rated your experience but an 8 or higher, please raise your hand. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How about anyone 5 to 7? Anyone there? 5 to 7. This is your very first time. All right, hate to admit it. How about 4 and lower? Anybody here? We had one person in the room, 4 and lower. All right, maybe another couple online. Now, let's think about our worst Toastmasters experience. The worst meeting you've ever had, the one that just wasn't right at all. Nothing happened right. People were actually insulted. Bad things happened. People were crying. Think about that. I've actually seen these things. All right. Hate to admit it. Now, worst Toastmasters experience. Do we have anybody that had a 1? Had a 1? Any 3s, 2s, or 3s? Show of hands. 4s and 5s. All right, we do have some bad Toastmaster experiences out there. And the reason I ask this is because there is a wide variety of how we experience the Toastmasters meeting. Many of us in here, we've all went to that first Toastmasters meeting. It was wonderful. We were inspired. We came back. We became members. However, there's also those meetings that are not so good. And those are the ones where we lose those new members who might have joined. Today, I'm going to be talking about the various things here, the quality club aspects, things about clubs that make them quality. I'll talk about the club meetings, membership, educational activities, general topics, and some club quality tools. But first, let me ask anybody here in the audience ideas of what makes a quality club? Any ideas here at all? I have a microphone going around. Anybody willing to talk about a club quality type of things? Yes, indeed.
Good speakers.
Good speakers, excellent. Any other ideas? We have one back here.
Useful feedback.
Useful feedback. We might have something online.
We have some speakers online. Danielle?
Being friendly, just welcoming me in. How many times have you gone to a meeting and nobody even says hello? So friendly.
Friendly. One last one. Anyone here?
A well-planned and presented meeting. Well-planned, starts on time, runs smoothly, ends on time. People are encouraged to participate, guests, and so on.
Okay, you've been looking at my notes. How about one last one here?
Sorry, there's so many things, but I think the people who are there leave feeling better than they were.
Excellent. These are all great things. Thank you so much for all these. I agree completely. The ones I thought about, just coming up with some ideas, I thought about having active members, people that are coming back to the meetings, they're engaged, they're all part of the club. We also have inspiring new members, those people that walk through those doors for the first time. They're interested, they want to learn more about that. They're the inquisitive guests. And here's something, the responsible club officers. How many times have we had a club officer, they become a club officer, and you don't see them again? It does happen. I don't think that's part of this crowd. Organized meetings. That's also a big thing that I think that's really important. The welcoming atmosphere. We want to keep coming back to this meeting. Club program and planning. I'll be talking about that soon. Last but not least, effective communication. How well are we communicating with each other? Question time once again. This is the last big question I have. Volunteers for this. Why do we need quality clubs? Any idea why we need a quality club? Yes.
Positive impact on the members and in the community.
Yes, a positive impact on the members and community. Any other ideas why we need a quality club?
Anyone online like to join in?
Yeah, online people.
Danielle?
I
You
know,
just
I'm not-
raised your hand, so I'm calling you again.
That's okay. I know I'm not the only one thinking this, but if it's not a quality club, they're not going to come back and you'll have no clubs.
Yes, indeed. That does happen. All right.
I think we need quality clubs to accomplish the purpose of the organization of Toastmasters International, communication and leadership development.
Excellent. Any other ideas before we get into the details about how to do this? Angela?
The club experience is the product.
Very good. It sounds like we have one more online here.
Yes. I have I'm going to read the two that popped up. From Scott Dillon says to keep Toastmasters going, and then the next one I'm sorry. And then the next one that says dedicated members. And finally, that club experience is the product and what club visitors want to see. And I will add to these to basically say that all of these different things, when the club is sort of being sold to prospective members, have to be at a certain level, because you're going to be joining a volunteer organization, and an amount of time will need to be invested, and the prospective member needs to feel that that investment is worthwhile. Because volunteering for things is not easy. So it has to be worth it, or feel that it's worth it. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Now I'm going to get into the details about how we have quality clubs. We'll first start talking about meetings. I have a lot of things up here. Feel free to write down what you'd like, or don't write down anything at all. But first one, I'll talk about the convenient location, easy to find. My analogy for this is actually the very first job I ever had. I was a test engineer for John Deere. Very first week, they told me, we would like you to test a combine out in Imperial, Nebraska. If you know where that is, I'm very surprised. The directions I got were this. Look for the orange stick, turn left, drive 5 miles, look for the cloud of dirt. Those are my directions. I was confused, but if you've been to the western part of Nebraska, that indeed is the landmark that we have. I found the orange stick. Sure enough, I drove left, and then off in the distance was the cloud, which I had to work on. Was that a convenient location? Sort of. What else was I going to do that day? Was it easy to find? Strangely, yes. But sometimes we have these clubs that are difficult to find. There was one time I tried to find a club meeting room in a church, and I wandered around the entire church until I got yelled at by security, wondering why on earth I was there, and I told him I'm looking for the Toastmasters meeting. He stares at me, and he just says, no, that's next week. Those types of things do happen, but we have to make sure that if we are inviting guests, we have to make sure that they know where to go for our meetings. Program and agenda publicized. Does everybody here have an agenda with your clubs? Agendas? I see lots of agenda hands. Anybody not use an agenda? Let's sort of wing it. Sometimes that does happen with clubs, and that's not a great way to have quality. We like to have an agenda. We want to know what's going on. We want to have things planned. Speaking of things planned, meeting starts and stops on time. That doesn't always happen. In fact, a lot of times when we're doing things online, we will wait. There'll be a whole lot of people there. We just find ourselves waiting 5 minutes for the latecomers. Why do we do that? For me, it's a pet peeve because it's punishing all these people that showed up on time for the people who aren't showing up on time. Personally, I say start the thing on time, and if people come in late, well, you can bring them in. Just a little personal thing there. Guests are welcomed. When we have a guest come into the room, do we welcome them? Here is the Nate Stevens trick for welcoming guests. If you have a meeting in person, the trick is this. Stand. If you're sitting, it is hard to shake somebody's hand, but if you're standing, I can actually meet and say, hi, I'm Nate.
Hi, I'm Don. My friends call me Bob.
That's right. Now I'll remember you as Bob. But it's always good to stand, work the room a little bit, and at the end of the meeting, I'm actually going to get off camera here. Whoa, I'm being bad. You can't see me, but have somebody stand by the door. And that way, when the guest is leaving the room, there'll be somebody there to actually talk to them about things that are going on in the meeting and welcoming them back. I left my name badge up here for a reason. Our clubs have name badges. A lot of times when we're brand new to a club, you don't know anyone's name, and it really helps to see someone's name there. Meeting atmosphere is enjoyable. That's almost self-explanatory. Do we like being in that room? This one I'm going to open up to people. Do we, in your clubs, give everyone an opportunity to speak, especially with table topics? Do you invite your guests to give a table topic? These things over here, it really gets into a lot more details. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one I would like to talk about are the programs varied. What types of things do you do in your club that varies each program? Any ideas here how you can vary your program? Meeting themes. Do you have any ideas for meeting themes? Any examples you'd like to share? Pi Day. Yes. I like Pi Day. Yeah, okay. More pies and members. Yeah, that's a...
Oh, sorry. Pi Day for those of you online.
We have one over here. Oh, we got lots of ideas for variety.
A really fun meeting theme is, oops, we all make mistakes, where the Toastmaster plans to make mistakes in running the meeting and gives the members a way to ding them or buzz them when they identify the mistake. They have to do more than just identify it, though. They have to explain what they did wrong and what they should have done correctly. It's a really fun meeting.
I like that. I want to try that one. Any others? I got one up here.
At Cranberry High Noon, we have our annual Toastmasters meeting where we have people come and bring their favorite foods, and the subject of the table topics is why is the food you brought important to you? So it's a very tasty meeting.
I like that.
Tall tales or debates.
Oh, wow. Emily, way over there, you have one? As she said, inviting guest speakers from other clubs. These are all excellent ideas for variety, things that make things a little bit interesting, because if we keep going back to the same meetings over and over and over, we just kind of get used to that. Let's go with this one. Evaluations are helpful and constructive. All right, another time for show of hands. Ever have an evaluation that was anything but that? Oh yes, oh yes. I've had the discouraging evaluation. I've had the one that just criticized me to no end. Is that what we're all about? No, I definitely hope not. But there are tricks to doing proper evaluations. Fred Vornbrock was sharing some of those earlier this morning. Yes, you were, Fred. And I really liked what you were sharing with us, because you were talking about ways to help out somebody give an evaluation. How did somebody feel about your speech? How did they perceive it? What did they see? What did they hear? These are very important things for evaluating a speech. I think I got most of these. We'll talk about membership. These are the people that come into our club. How many people, how many clubs here, people in clubs, try to set a goal for having 20 or more members of each club? Melissa, you do that? I see lots of hands. Why do we do that? Here's the big why. Why on earth do we do that? It's almost a rhetorical question. We really like to have 20 members in a club, because if we have that many, then we're not relying on the same people to do everything all the time. We have variety. We have new people coming in. Those 20 people know lots more people, and then we can get more people involved. Club officers and members demonstrate core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Always something good to remember there. Club free of members who disrupt meetings or have a negative influence. This does happen from time to time. Here's a strange story. The weirdest meeting I have ever been in, it was a fight that broke out at the end of it. Now, yes, indeed, it did indeed happen. There is not a Pathways project that deals with this. Things did get a little bit heated, and we had to resolve that. And I was not in it. No, I couldn't hurt a fly, but this did indeed happen. We'd have to have a little bit discussion afterwards. Club has presence on Facebook and LinkedIn. Is your club well known outside of the members of the club? I hope so. Guests are invited to join the club. Now, I did not write this up here, but one thing to have for that is the guest packet. And in there, you will have a club membership form, information about Toastmasters. If you still have the Toastmasters magazine, that was handy to put in there, but that's no longer in print. And anything that a new person would like to know about the Toastmasters Club. New members are assigned roles. This is very important to do, because when you join the Toastmasters Club, you don't want to get ignored. You don't want to just disappear. You want to be part of that club. New members scheduled to speak after joining, and last but not least, new members are formally inducted. Any clubs do that? Yes, some of them. There is, and you'll find out more about that later, but you can actually formally introduce your members, and they become a member of your club. Last but not least, the educational activities, things that are going on. Number one, members are encouraged to attend district functions. This is a district function. Make sure that your members know about things like this and encourage them to come to it. Members are encouraged to visit other clubs. I have visited many other clubs, and each time I visit a new one, I'm learning something new. I hear people that I'm not used to hearing, and each club does things a little bit differently. Members know the value and requirements of various educational awards. That's also good. We've changed into pathways now quite a while ago, and it's important for people to know what the levels are and what you can do for that. General things that we have. The club has a newsletter or a website. Anybody have newsletter? That's kind of some of us do, some of us don't. There's a little bit of work to do for that, and I think it's something really good. There's the free Toast host. It depends on your club. There is a website free to use, and it actually help you out with the agendas and signing things up. Formal installation of officers. We will have the new officers coming. They will be effective July 1st. It is really neat to hand the gavel off to somebody new. And that is a great way to start something great. The club discusses and votes on proposals presented each year at the Toastmasters business meeting. That is a mouthful. But this is something that happens at our general meeting that we have at the International Conference, and it's important for everybody here to assign a proxy vote or hopefully even be present at that event. Last thing I'd like to talk about is this one. Club officers understand their responsibilities. Everybody here in this room will be understanding about your new club officer role and what that is and how that fits in with everything. That, in essence, is how you do a quality club, but there are actually tools that will help us learn how we can have quality clubs. Here are the 3 tools that we have here: the Distinguished Club Program, the Club Success Plan, and the Moments of Truth. If you're brand new to Toastmasters, you might not know about these, and you'll probably be hearing more about all 3 of these later today. First one is the Distinguished Club Program. There are 10 different goals that we have each year. We start out with our membership type of goals. We also have our learning goals that we have, training, which you're doing right now, and administration. So a big chunk of that, 6, are just our educational goals. And these are a lot of things to think about, but the good thing is July 1st starts very, very soon, and this is a great time to start thinking about who in the club is going to get these goals. The thing you don't want to do is at the end is rush and try to see who can finish things at the last minute. Instead, think about how you're going to do this throughout the year, and that will help things out quite a bit. Membership. This seems daunting. Right now, you have 8 days left for the Toastmasters year. 4 new members or dual reinstating members, and then another 4 new members. If we do this throughout the year, if you just say, I'm going to get 1 new member per month, 1 new member, that seems doable, isn't it? 1 new member per month. If that's your goal, that membership goal becomes really easy. You got that. Training, minimum of 4 club officers trained during each of 2 training periods. Make sure your club officers, fellow club officers, know about these opportunities, and that way they will show up for these events. Administration, that's always, I call it the easy one. Just send in the information. Here are the club officers. And there you go. Well, why do we do this? That's our big question. Way in the beginning, I had those little letters, the Y and the U. Why do we do the Distinguished Club Program? Any volunteers here? You hear about this. You're probably going to hear about this later today. Why do we do it? Why do we have these 10 goals? Mike?
Keeps us on the right path for what we want to get done.
That's right. Anyone else want to answer the why? Here we are.
It provides a structure to help us understand how far we've come and how far we need to go.
Yeah, it does provide structure. TJ.
It builds good morale for clubs, and it builds that momentum, achieving goals.
Great, it does. Anybody else want to talk about the why we do the DCP? We do have somebody way over here.
Consistency, being a part of it every week, being there, accountability, and everything being on the time, start to end, is part of the club running the meetings. Thank you.
Great. It does keep us on track as to what we're doing for each meeting, and it gives us sort of goal. Joe.
It's one way that the district, as well as Toastmasters International, gets to measure what's happening within the clubs. Are they achieving their goals? Are they an active club by achieving these goals? And are the members active by accomplishing each of these levels in their own growth within Pathways?
Great. Excellent. Anybody online?
Yes, this is Sharon Henderson. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For the for these goals, it's not just what everybody is saying. It's just great. But when you look at it at common sense, if I'm coming to a club, I have goals, I need to see that you have goals too. Are you going somewhere? And if you are, how that's going to look when we both get there together. So it gives me a confidence to know, hey, these people understand what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to achieve being an executive in a company, or I'm trying to bring my own business, I'm looking to see that this club has goals, and they can teach me how I can reach my own goals. And if you look at the screen, you see how those goals are aligned. They can teach me how to set up my own goals similar to that, to where as we reach it as a club, I can see how I'm progressing as an individual.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yes. Somebody over here. You're getting your workout running around with a microphone.
The achievements inspire others. Like the other day when I'm part of Cranberry High Noon. That other day when I saw Bakery Square Toastmasters, they are presidents distinguished. Then immediately I went there. So many people like that came to Bakery Square to see what is happening there. So it gives a lot of inspiration to others to be like that. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I will now go to our next one that we have. It is the Club Success Plan. Oh, the Club Success Plan. First off, show of hands, people that have heard of the Club Success Plan. We do see a lot of hands going up. Keep your hand up if you do the Club Success Plan. This is good. Very good, people. I really like this, because if you haven't heard of the Club Success Plan, this, as you can see up here, it's a plan that defines your goals. We just talked about the 10 goals that we have each year for your club, so that club officers can achieve these. We have a number of different things here. The goals to achieve, those are the 10 goals that we just talked about. The Club Executive Committee values. Think about the values that you want to set forth in your club. Member engagement. That's one I really want to emphasize. We want to get all of our members active in the club, doing things that they want to do. It is a self-paced program, but we do encourage people to participate in it. Education goals. We saw those 6 educational goals where we can get credit for each one of those. Make sure that you know which members are able to achieve those throughout the year. Membership goals. Try to get at least 20 members per year. Training goals, making sure that we have people in these events that we're having right now attend them. Last but not least, signatures. Way down here by my little floor that I have. And that's an interesting one, because what I encourage people to do is when you come up with your club success plan, ways that you are going to achieve those 10 distinguished goals is to actually have all the club officers sign that. Have them sign a little document, and that way they have responsibility for doing that. Club success plan. Here it is. Why? Why do we do this? Why on earth would we go through this effort? It seems like something that you might not need to do as a club, but why would we do it? Any volunteers here to talk about that? Joe?
If anybody knows who Dwight D. Eisenhower is, there's a quote: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This is your ability to plan how you're going to achieve the Distinguished Club program, as well as have a prosperous club, have an effective club, run effective meetings. This is why we do a club success plan.
Very good. Russell?
I'd like to add that one of the things that we have to, that we learn in Toastmasters is not just content, but context. The idea is that if we have people who are trying to become leaders, this is the way to practice. This is a form, this is a template on how to put together in business a business plan. So what happens here, even though we're working in Toastmasters, we're able to put a plan together that's going to help people in Toastmasters. For those that are trying to become leaders, this also gives you a chance to practice on how to put a business plan together. So when you go back to your business, because the idea of Toastmasters is not to be a Toastmaster, the idea is to take these ideas and these learnings back to your workplace and become better leaders and communicators.
Great. I have one over here.
And to add on to what both of them have said, it's a strategy for coming up to and reaching the goals that you've set. And in addition to that, there are opportunities for each of your officers to contribute to the strategy and to the goals, because all of the sections of the club success plan contain different parts and pieces that the officers need to contribute to help the club reach the goals.
Great. All right, thank you so much. I have, looks like one more.
No, I was pointing.
No? Kathy?
I believe the original question was, why do we sign it?
Yeah.
To make sure that we're committed, and then later you can remind people that they agreed to it, they were part of it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Thank you so much. Wow, we can just sum it up with that.
We have one person online who'd like to add to that.
Okay, person online.
Yeah, why have the club success plan? But it's value. The members have to see value in what we're accomplishing. The club has to see it. The districts have to see it. International has to see it. And you have to see that value, and value is measured by reaching goals. So it's a way of demonstrating value.
Excellent. I agree completely. Our last tool that I will talk about today is the moments of truth. This is our club quality standards evaluation. We have 6 different things on our moments of truth. First one is first impressions. When you walk through the door for the very first time, going into Toastmasters meeting, if you're brand new, odds are you're a little bit afraid of this, but there's something that you want to gain from the club. What is that experience like for somebody new? Is it positive, or is it the exact opposite and the person does not come back? Membership orientation. When you get new people in the club, how are you introducing them? Do you assign mentors to them, or do they sort of have to figure things out on their own? Fellowship, variety, and communication. These were things that we were talking about today, especially with variety, making sure that we don't do the same things all the time, but we mix things up a bit. Program planning and meeting organization. Also mentioned that today. Membership strength, having a club of 20 or more members, and achievement recognition. When somebody finishes a level or a path, we recognize them, or even a DTM. Last of the last questions, what would we do? The moments of truth. Why would we do this? Because this takes work. This takes time to do this. You have to assess the club. You have to present this to the club. And that means you're not giving speeches. You're not doing table topics. You're not doing all those little fun things that you're used to. Why would you do this? Any ideas of the why? A big one for me, yeah, Michelle.
Part of it is to get ideas, for your club to come up with new and interesting ideas for ways to improve your club, because there's always room for improvement.
That's right.
We have one online, Danielle.
Yeah, many times, because you think you're a volunteer, you're like, oh, we're just going to show up and we're going to have a good time and, maybe we'll do something. But this is really about running your club as a business. And Moments of Truth is a look back at your club success plan and going, hey, how are we doing? Do we need to make some changes? Do we need to introduce something new? Do we need to ask new questions? So it's really talking about running your business. And the business happens to be Toastmasters, regardless of whether we're volunteers or not.
Excellent. Anyone else here? Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick one, Nate. And it just sort of follows on that is that you got to figure out where you're at. Where are we at right now? And without doing the Moments of Truth, you really don't know where you're at. Where are we weak? Where are we strong? Like she just said. So without that, you can't really move forward and get a plan together. Got to see where you're at first.
That's right.
We have another online, Linda.
Hi. I just want to say it was many years ago when I heard the Moments of Truth. Shawnee Mueller, I think, gave it at Westmoreland when I was at one of my first officers training. And that just touched my heart, and that is so important for each club to do. I can't say enough that it means what Toastmasters is all about. And I think the more people hear it, the more it helps the club. Thank you.
Thank you. And we had one more back here. Yeah.
So I wanted to tie in one more document. Moments of Truth, where we are now. Member interest survey, where do we want to go? Club success plan, how are we going to get there? Distinguished club program, how are we doing on the way?
Very good. And it looks like I am running out of time, but I want to finish off today just talking about club quality, how all of these things that I mentioned today, these all begin with you. You are the one that is going to make a difference in your club. You're the one that's going to tell the people in your club the things that you learned today. You are the one who's going to inspire people to do the best that they can. You're the one who's going to give a great evaluation, to encourage somebody to get back up here in front of others and to share everything that they've learned about Toastmasters. I thank you for your time. This is a lot of fun. There's lots of things that we can talk about club quality. It seems like we have lots of interest for our clubs here, and I look forward to the upcoming year and how all of you will achieve club quality. Thank you.